Zero. Zilch. Nada. None. Zippo. Terrible. Welcome back to Guess What Day It Is. It is a hot and sweaty day here in the Kansas City Metro, but that's okay. We're here, we're gonna have some fun. So as you can tell by the intro, we did not have a very good sales week. We had a big fat goose egg. I'm not worried about it. We're new at this. And once again, I'm very thankful that we don't have any real money in any of this, but it is what it is. Well, before we get into it, let's take a look and see what the booth looks like this week. So here's the booth for August 1st, 2025. Not much has changed since the last time we saw it. Big Sony speakers are gone, which I'm thankful for. Get those out of the way. We've got the RC Victor 45 RPM turntable. Got the two Sylvania bookshelf speakers. We got all the phones here. They are not moving at all. Got our microscope and our Wolverine tin stove. Got the Poly Perk over there on the left. And we've got the 16mm camera and our holiday Kmart plate. Let's get this situated. I'm going to make sure that people can see these two do not go together. All right, got the Techniques graphic equalizer. Got our Fisher stereo. Two Allied speakers, they're still there. We've got our realistic bookshelf speakers as well. Let's get those situated. We've got the VHS DVD recorder, and then we also found the manual for that. It's pretty cool. Magnavox DVD recorder. The awesome Pioneer CD player, VHS rewinder, and the Scott's receiver as well. The bottom shelf, we got a beautiful Budweiser bow tie window sign, Coors clock, and then we've got the Lowenbrow beer sign as well. Nice and lit up so people can see them. This is the toy section. Out of all the items in the booth, the toys seem to be the slowest moving. We did sell the Castle Grayskull and He-Man pretty quickly, but this stuff is just not moving. We've got two turntables. We've got this nice little Pioneer. And we also have this Techniques. This is a linear turntable. It does not have a tone arm like you're used to seeing. It actually has an optical sensor as well to help position the cartridge where it needs to go. And you can actually select tracks kind of like a CD player, which I thought's pretty cool. If you want to see a video on that, check right there. There's going to be a separate video on the Techniques. Got the check printer. Got some binoculars still. The bowling Atari game is still here. We've got our Timex Sinclair. I also found the manual for the realistic wideband radio. We've got the DVD player down there as well. Little RCA guy. DVDs are not moving, but that's okay. Not sure if we're overpriced or if we're on par. About $6 per DVD there. Added some mood lighting kind of have a soft, warm glow from these two lights in the corner. That was one of the compromises that we had with the brass armadillo so that we could kind of keep our shelves the way they are. I also have a nice shelf that's going to be going right in this area at some point. And that's the booth. Let's talk about some numbers. So I'm not sure when you're going to watch this video, but we're filming it on August the 5th. The video is going to drop on August the 8th. And the booth that the shot of the booth that you saw was from this past Friday, which is August 1st. So kind of getting you up to speed with where we're at. The week of July 28th through August 1st, we sold nothing at our booth, which is so far our first. Now, once again, this is our 6th week, I think, or 7th week. Not sure. I'm not good with math. But it's, a little disheartening when you don't sell anything. I've been in sales for a very long time, for about 20 years. So one of the hardest things to do as someone who's in sales is to get used to failure or rejection, however you want to look at it. So anytime you're in sales, you present something to a person, they say yes or no. A lot of times when they say no, you think of it as rejection or failure. So the one thing that you have to keep in mind is it's not a failure, it's not rejection. I just haven't done everything I could to bridge the gap between the value that I'm trying to present and what the customer thinks the value is. So it's not a big deal. And once again, we are not doing this for a living. So really, it's not that big of a deal. So all things considered, we're very blessed and we're doing well. So let's talk about the numbers from the week before. So we got a paycheck. We got a paycheck net of rent and expenses for $237.49. So that's great. My main thing that I want to do is to cover rent and expenses because I don't want to be paying out of our checking account just for the privilege of showing our stuff off. I want to actually cover everything. So we did that. Some of the things that we sold the Blatz Dancing Guys sign. That was discounted from $150 to $125. We sold the Seagram's Taste It All sign, which was kind of one of my favorites. Sold that for $40. We sold a pair of folding opera glasses. We actually sold 2 of them. They were the same thing. One was blue, one was black. They both sold for $15. We sold the Bushnell binoculars that have been in the booth pretty much since the get-go. Those sold for $10. We also sold the Bush clock sign. That sold for that sold for full price, $50. We sold the big Sony speakers. Those things are out of the booth. Thankful for that. And they sold for $50. So that worked out well. Patience. That's all it takes. We sold the Atari. Finally, the Telegames Atari that I've had in my possession for quite a while. We actually did a refurbishment on that probably about 7 or 8 months ago. If you want to hear more about our Ataris and what we've done as far as refurbishing, click the video right here. So that is, we did take a 10% discount. I don't know what the 10% discount was. I think it was another vendor. If you're a vendor at the Brass Armadillo, you can have a 10% discount on anything in the store, anytime. As a seller, I'm not going to utilize that because I don't want to take the profit from any of my fellow vendors. And I'm okay with it if someone uses it for us. So not a big deal. We sold the little tiny Sanyo TV radio. That has been in the booth for quite a while too. That thing sold for $30. And we sold our first single DVD, which is Full Metal Jacket. One of, arguably, one of the best movies ever made. May not be your cup of tea. A lot of foul language, totally understand. But excellent movie. It's in my top 10. So that's going to do it for this week. Thank you again for watching. Remember to stay positive and focused if you're selling. Once again, I'm a newbie, but I've been in sales for a while. Don't let a slow week get you down. Stay positive, stay focused. It might be an opportunity to take a step back and look and see if there's something else that you can do to make that not happen, to be improved going forward. So if you are in sales, just keep moving forward. Take one step, put it in front of the other, and you'll be fine. So thank you again for watching. Remember, if you want to see some detailed information on some of the things that we have in our booth, we have another set of videos that comes out every Friday where I go through a lot of the technicals here on the bench of everything that goes in the booth that needs to be looked at or refreshed. Mostly electronics and beer science, just to make sure that anything we put on the booth is functional and working fine. So check that out. And once again, I really appreciate you watching. Remember to hit like and subscribe. And I will see you next week on Guess What Day It Is.